Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning into this video. This is a little bit of a different video than I usually do. Usually my videos are silent with just music kind of playing over there, but I decided to do a little bit of a chatty video today. I don't usually do this kind of content because I'm not a very chatty person, but figured I'd try it this time around, and if there's something you would like to see more in the future, let me know. Today we are going to be painting this sketch that I've had sitting in this Arches cold press block for a while now. This is the wrap-up painting from my Sylvia Friends series, which Sylvia is my D&D character from a campaign called Shattered Memories, DM'd by the lovely Strawberry Witch on YouTube. I decided that I wanted to capture these four because these four are kind of Sylvia's core friend group. So this painting, I'll be using this palette, which you all have probably seen me use several times now. So let's go ahead and get this started. Another video that will probably be coming up in the future would be the sketchbook tours of the sketchbook that I painted these lovely ladies in first, and also my miniature blue sketchbook that I showed as well, because I actually finished that one too. So I have been really in a kind of painting mood this year. I'm very proud of myself for being as productive in my painting this year as I have. I have been wanting to get back into my watercolor painting for a while now, and every year that I tried, I just could never really get into it, and a lot of it was just because watercolors frustrated me a lot. I felt like I did not have enough control over it, and I think that is a frustration a lot of people have when they're first starting watercolors. It's just feeling like they don't have enough control in what they're painting, and I completely understand that. I have that feeling quite often, and I still feel that way even throughout my watercolor journey, that I have not as much control over my paints as I would like, but I definitely gotten better, I think, with, consistency. As always, consistency is key. So I think I've been definitely improving a lot more this year. I feel like I definitely can see the improvement in what I have been putting out this year. So very happy with all of my progress this year. I feel like I've made quite a bit of progress this year. And of course, there are still very much a lot of ways I would love to improve in the next few years, but we have time for that. I know that it's going to take a minute for me to get to where I want, and I'm very excited to see what next year will have in store for me when it comes to my paintings. I have done so much art this year. I was tallying up how much art I've done this year in my year in review video that I've been working on, and I have done a lot. More than I think I have ever done, because I've been so focused on trying to make sure that I'm consistently working on art. And that was one of the reasons I actually started this channel, was to make sure that I was staying consistent in my art journey. So that is one of the reasons why I actually started this channel, was to maintain a consistent kind of painting schedule and making sure that I do not slack, because a lot of times I will be like, oh yeah, I want to get into watercolor, and then I get the supplies and then I don't do anything with it, and it just sits there, and then I find it years later, like I did with these brushes, and I'm like, wow, I remember when I got this. I can't believe I forgot about it. So Yeah, I definitely am proud of myself for keeping a pretty consistent painting schedule. I don't think, since I started this channel, I don't think I've skipped a month of painting. I've been pretty consistent. At the beginning of the year, I definitely skipped a couple of months because I have the other sketchbook that I was using. Yeah, there are definitely a couple of months that I just completely skipped. I think it goes from like January and then skips to May, I believe, which is a pretty significant skip. But ever since I started this channel and I started that watercolor sketchbook with the pop-ups, I have been pretty consistent. I think at least one painting in a month. And you know, when I am feeling like work is really stressing me out, watercolor has been a very good outlet for me to try to kind of decompress after a very long day. Okay, so I've just been putting some loose colors down for the background while I've been chatting, just some loose water kind of structure here because this is water. And then this is going to be kind of a nice sunset if I can get the blue that I want here. I don't know if sunset is the proper term here, but yeah, been doing that. Obviously, I'm a little bit looser than I probably should be when it comes to how I'm handling these colors, but it's fine. She's gonna be partially blocked by this tree that I have here, which is fine. Originally, this was going to be at like the pool that Sylvia, Sonara, and occasionally Nami as well perform at. They perform at an aquarium together. That is how Sylvia actually met Sonara, because she works there. Sonara is the resident mermaid. She met Nami through Sonara in different circumstances. I don't quite remember what those are now, but I do know that they met through Sonara, I believe. And Sylvia met Daisy because Daisy works at the cafe that Sylvia frequents. Sylvia is a regular at that coffee shop, and now that she has an interior design business called Starlit Designs, she's actually remodeled and redesigned that coffee shop after an incident occurred in the city, and they all, like, that building just got absolutely wrecked. So fortunately, Claude, the owner, was already in the mindset of he wanted to redo it anyway, so he wasn't terribly upset. So it just gave him an excuse to escalate that. He is a workaholic, and his partner, Koa, is very, I would say, annoyed at that, because he wants him to take a break, but he sure does not listen. There was recently a festival for the arts, and Claude was there selling his coffee, because, you know, coffee shop. And Sylvia went there to talk to him, and he said he was not supposed to be there. And Sylvia was like, oh, I understand. You were told to stay home and relax for once. Did he listen? No. So he is consistent, if nothing else. He is a workaholic, and he asked Sylvia to remodel the Lavender Dreams, which is his coffee shop, and she agreed. And I will go ahead and pop up on the screen what these characters actually look like in my digital art, because I have drawn every single one of these characters digitally. And something that I have also learned in this journey is that I really struggle to draw in smaller scales. My digital canvases are like 4,000 by 4,000. I draw on a really large scale, and it was a bit of a struggle. So I was also using was just way too big. It has, what is it, 2mm lead, and I like it for when I'm doing, I also drew this with that 2mm lead. I'm so used to doing that in my other sketchbook, which has lower stakes, but this one I completely forgot to switch up the brush, and it was drawn with a bigger brush, so we'll see how this goes for me. But yeah, I drew these all digitally first, and so I'm using them as a reference for what they should look like here. I think being able to attempt to try to get their likeness in a traditional format using watercolor paints has been a good exercise for me. I am still, like I said, relearning how to paint in a smaller scale because I don't think I'm very good at it just yet. I think I still have a lot of work to do to relearn how to do that. Because I used to sketch all the time, but what did I always used to sketch? Portraits. So just close-ups, not really worry too much about anatomy and stuff, and that's probably why in this current journey that I've had, I've been struggling a little bit with the anatomy, because back in the day, that's all I used to do, was do portraits. But I've definitely gotten better at it digitally, I would say. There are moments where I'm like, man, did I ever learn how to do this properly? And then there are moments where I'm like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. But I think that's just the, you know, the typical artist journey where you are like, do I actually know what I'm doing? And you just have to remind yourself, yeah, you do. You just are a little bit rusty. And I have definitely noticed that when I take a long break from doing digital art and I am just doing my traditional art, boy howdy did I feel rusty when I went back to my digital workflow. I was like, oh my god, I don't remember how to draw in here, because it just uses a different set of muscles. So you see me right now just kind of putting in the hair for all the ladies, getting some of those shadows. They all have very long hair. Sylvia and her long-haired friends, they all have very long hair. And they all have the same aesthetic, pastel girls. She does have a little bit of pink in her hair. But just trying to get some of those colors in. She is a mermaid, so she does have her, I gave her a pink tail. I did not actually confirm with the DM if her tail is actually pink. I don't actually remember from the description that I got 2 years ago now what color her tail is, but she didn't complain from my original art that I did in a previous video, so I'm assuming I got the color right. She may have a blue tail, I don't know. I was not told that I did it wrong the first time around, so we will find out if they watch this video and leave a comment down below if I got this right or not. But honestly, I'm pretty okay right now. You see that I'm letting the colors kind of run into the water, and I'm okay with that because there's going to be that reflection, so it's alright if it runs into this. And also why I was okay with this was because the red kind of gets into that kind of sunset vibe that I wanted beforehand as well. And also, even if I didn't like it, Vanlore is an autumnal city, so because this is based in Vanlore, they would have some like red in the background anyway, which is what I'm putting here. And I'm gonna go in and go ahead and just paint her. She is a trident. This is Nami. She is a trident, I believe. She is dating Sonara. So I wanted them to be next to each other. They started dating, I believe, this year in game, which Sylvia found out a little bit later because I don't think she was around when they started dating. I don't know. But this year in the campaign has been dubbed the Year of Love because a lot of couples have gotten together this year. It's the year 4269. So a lot of couples have gotten together this year. A lot of couples finally got it together and decided to ask each other out, because some of these people have liked each other for a very long time and they just have not said anything, and it's just kind of atrocious. Get it together. But a lot of these people, usually at least one of them has like some sort of dangerous job that makes them be like, I don't really want to do it, and then some disaster happens. They're like, maybe I should just get over it. Or the other one finally is like, dude, can we talk about this? So this year has been a very interesting year. A lot has happened, and I'm loving it. So yeah, these characters are all Sylvia's friends, and they get along quite well. Sylvia hangs out with them, I think, the most, though she does hop around quite a bit when it comes to her friends. She sees these two, I believe, at least twice a week because Sylvia works with Sonara. She sees at least Sonara twice a week. And Daisy, because Sylvia does a lot of her work in the Lavender Dreams Cafe when she's trying to work on her new interior designs, she will see Daisy, so they see each other all the time. Nami is the one that she is probably not the closest with in this group, but you know, as a result of her dating Sonara and her being a music person, because Sylvia is big on music. One of Sylvia's main ways of bonding with people is playing music with them. She loves playing music with people. It is one of her favorite things to do with her friends. So she'll play music with just about anyone. Sylvia is a very social butterfly, no pun intended, because her favorite creature in the whole wide world is a butterfly. Favorite animal, wolves. But favorite creature, butterflies. They represent her so well too, so I can't fault her for that. A lot of Shattered Memories has it's very heavy on the symbolism when it comes to the characters in there. A lot of the characters have some sort of symbolism, association with either animals or something. And I really love that because as someone who is a writer at heart, but you know, just does not do it very often, I really enjoy how much it does incorporate those kinds of things. And I've been able to practice a lot of my flower meanings in this campaign, which has been nice. And in my side thing that I'm doing with Sam called Blood and Blooms, Ballad of Blood and Blooms, I always forget Ballad is in there. That also, flower meanings is also very important in that one. Also, obviously, is called Ballad of Blood and Blooms, blooms being flower themed. And I typically, when I draw portraits, I try to include a flower for the portraits, the, I guess, quote unquote official art for those characters. So yeah, I've been able to practice a lot of my symbolism love, my love for writing, all that. Now, because I have so much art to draw, because I am the resident artist for the D&D group, if you know, you know how that goes. So I made it a personal challenge, I don't really know why I decided to do this, to draw every single NPC that has some semblance of significance in the campaign and D&D world for Shattered Memories. And there are a lot of characters. There are a lot of characters. So I'm often trying to play catch up to basically draw as many of the characters as I can in a specific time period, specifically before I send them off for either the New Year's or the mid-year kind of check-in, where I send them to the DM. Any related pieces digitally, because I don't really do any traditional art for this. This is the most traditional art I have ever done for this, but usually I try to send them to the other player as well. We have lost a couple from the beginning of this, and you know, it's been going pretty well despite that. I'm very excited to see where the campaign will go. Right now we're in a bit of a cooldown period after just the main group getting back from, I guess I shouldn't say the main group, because technically Sylvia is part of the main group, but she was not there for that mission. She got sent back early for reasons, particularly to watch over a princess that they have saved, and she has a lot she has to do about that. But she went back early to kind of be the princess's guardian, thanks to her partner, Sylvia's partner, Kaze, having this teleportation stone that basically was made by one of the guard of the main city, the Silversong Guard. Her name is Naki. I love her dearly. She is one of my favorites. She is so cute. Akash, the one that I said was Sylvia's other close friend, he is also part of the Silversong Guard. He is the goofiest of the bunch for sure. And because of that, he is often, you know, not taken seriously. But yeah, she was not there for a majority of the big mission. She was there for the core mission that they went down there for. But she was not there for their travel back, which was like a 2-month-long travel or whatever. She was not there for the travel back. And so many things happened on that travel back that is still impacting the group to this day, including her, even though she was not there for the main event. And it's just been very interesting to see how the group is reacclimating, because they travel back with a different group. I played a different character for that travel back, so that, you know, I was still participating even though my main character that I created for it was gone. And the character I created was named Milan. She's still alive, so is named Milan, not was named Milan. She is still alive. She is kind of the exact opposite of Sylvia. She doesn't care a lot. I needed a character that didn't care a lot. Granted, with all the events that have occurred, they have made her a little bit annoyed at everyone. she's starting to care more than she would like, which is funny because of everything that she has going on with her. Her ability to care about things is kind of shot. Her ability to want to act on things is not completely there. So it's been interesting to see that kind of evolution, because I didn't really plan on my character Milan to have any sort of like character growth, because she was kind of in a good spot in life. Honestly, she's not in all the conflicts that all the other group was in, so I was kind of just planning on having her just kind of be there and not need too much. I didn't expect her to be in a point where she needed any sort of growth or changes or reflection or anything like that. She was kind of set in her ways, and then everything that happened, and I was like, she's changing a little bit, and I don't know if it's necessarily a good way. It's not a bad way, that's for sure. Like, it's not a bad way, it's just not in the way that she wants. So, you know, those things happen, and I'm excited, even though she's not excited, to see where this will take us, because things are getting interesting. "2025 has been both a very long year and also has flown by very fast at the same time. I have had a lot of ups and downs this year, and despite this year, the first quarter, I'd say, starting off a little rough, it's been a very, I would say, productive year art-wise. Obviously, I have been so consistent with my art traditionally, and while digitally, I think I did more art than I did last year, which is a feat in itself because I did a lot of art last year. I don't think it's a lot of more art, but I think it's more art than last year. But I think digitally I've done a lot more art, and obviously I have this that I'm doing right now, which is a lot of art. I've done a lot of traditional art. I've tallied this up thus far, and this is going to be an additional one, which is why I have a year review video that will probably go up in January, so I'll be done painting officially, and I can't keep adding to it, you know? So I'm waiting for within a year to record that part of it. I can probably record the other part because my year in review video for 2025 is going to include all of my materials that I've used this year, all the materials that I will continue to use next year, all the materials that I didn't really like but we'll still use to kind of wrap them up and have them used so they're not just sitting there, or I'll give them to someone who I think may like them more. But otherwise, I have that materials. I have all the different sketchbooks that I've used this year, which is a lot more than I thought, because at the end of the year, like I said, I found sketchbooks and I started using them more. So I've been using a lot of sketchbooks concurrently. And you know, originally I was like, why do people have so many different sketchbooks all at the same time? I'm understanding the movement now. I'm understanding why people have so many sketchbooks simultaneously working at the same time. Like it's making sense to me now as someone who is doing that, especially for like traveling and stuff like that. When I started getting bigger sketchbooks, or I started my YouTube channel and I was like, well, I want to record all of these, so I need sketchbooks that I can take with me when I go to like a coffee shop with my friends and paint then. So I'm learning. Sorry, I keep mixing my paints off camera. To be honest, there's not too much mixing happening, so that is of note. But I've started to understand why artists have so many sketchbooks at the same time. Didn't know how to get it before, I get it now. Then all my paint palettes that I've been using, this one included, including the links to where you can buy them yourselves if you would like, and support small creators, small stores. What else did I plan on that? Oh, the part that I can't record is tallying up all the different art that I have done this year, digitally and traditionally, picking out my top piece from each month, and I'll probably have some honorable mentions because sometimes it's hard to choose your favorites from a month if you just really had a good month and you were just popping off. And then I also plan on doing my top favorites for my traditional artwork as well. So that will be fun to do. And I have done a lot of art, so I know it's going to be hard to pick my favorites when it gets around to that. Done a lot more traditional art this year, so it's going to be really hard when I get to that point. I know it already. But that is what I plan on doing. I don't think at the moment there's any more that I plan on doing with that. I think that's about it. So look forward to that. That will be coming out sometime in January, I hope. I will be a bit busy at the beginning of January. I have my friend visiting me, the DM of the campaign, Strawberry Witch. They'll be visiting me and we'll be preoccupied for the first, 2 weeks of January, so videos maybe a little bit on the light side. And also in that video, I forgot. Also in that video, I think I may try to figure out what kind of content I plan on putting out next year. Because I've definitely found that I don't want to be uploading as consistently as I did, or at the very least, don't worry about recording as much as I did. I ran into the same issue as I did with my other sketchbook, with my last sketchbook tour, where I was very interested in uploading as many of my pieces as possible to my channel, and then I just hit that point where I was like, I just want to paint in here, but I don't feel like setting up and pressing record, And I think some of my best work happens when I don't record, which is quite unfortunate. But that's fine. And I just fell into that same hole this time around with my sketchbook with all my character illustrations in there, which I thought I would be able to circumvent if I had multiple sketchbooks in rotation, where I did not have to worry about recording, but I still fell into the same trap. So, yeah, unfortunate, but it is what it is. And so I ended up not recording all of my final paintings that I did in that sketchbook. But because I have fallen into that trap twice, I'm just not going to set myself up for a strict schedule like I did this year. My goal was to force myself to paint more consistently, and that happened. So I'm not upset about the fact that I'm at this point where I don't want to record everything that I do, because that means I enjoy the process enough that I want to do it. And the only thing that sometimes holds me back, even though I will just paint without recording and not feel bad about it, but I'll just be like, oh, this one came out so nicely, and guess who didn't record it? Me! But yeah, there is this tattoo on Nami that I absolutely did not draw and probably will not draw because it is so detailed and I do not have the detail brush for it, so it's just going to be that. She does also wear jewelry. Did I draw that? No. It's okay. But yeah, probably will not be uploading as much next year as I did this year. That's alright. And if you all would prefer the more chatty videos, let me know. Like I said, I'm not much of a chatter. This has been a lot of work here. But let me know. I will consider it and maybe do more of these. But if I do more chatty videos, those will also probably be a lot less frequent than what we're seeing this year. But that's okay. I got my main goal, which was to force me to paint more consistently. And now that I do that, I'm not too concerned about, you know, not painting or anything like that, because this really forced me to paint more so that I didn't have a gap in my video content. My upload schedule. I don't know why I said video content like that. But quite proud of myself this year. A lot of things, despite the rough beginning of the year and the continued stressful things that have been happening this year out of my control, a lot of things have fallen into place this year, which I am very happy about. A lot of things have worked out for me, and I have checked off a lot of things on my list of things I needed to get done before the end of the year. So I am quite happy about that, and I want to know if there were things that you accomplished this year that you are very happy that you were able to complete this year. Maybe something that's been on your to-do list for a long time and you're just finally getting around to it. That's okay. You did it, and that is all that matters. Let me know if you accomplished as many of the goals that you wanted this year or not. If not, is it on your list next year? Or have you just decided you didn't get it this year, you're not going to worry about it next year? Is it something that you think you may be able to get done before this year ends? Which, when I upload this video, it's going to be very soon. Let me know. I want to know. And if you already have things that you want to check off next year, that you already know about, that you've already sat down and thought about, I want to know about that too. Let me know. I think next year, some of my goals for the new year, and I never really call them New Year resolutions, but that is what a lot of people call them. My goals for next year, one of them is I would like to finally knock out some of my bigger D&D projects that I've had in mind, and by that I mean art projects. I have been wanting to do a lookbook for my D&D characters because I actually have a lot more in Shattered Memories. I have created a lot of different characters for it because I don't know, there was this thing that I did with Sam once, and it kind of snowballed from there, so we ended up in this situation. But I wanted to do a lookbook for some of those characters, so I'm hoping next year I'll be able to do that, because that has been on my to-do list. I came up with the idea, I think in 2023, and I wanted to do it this year, and I didn't get around to it this year because I was so focused on trying to get my traditional skills up that I just did not have the time. And also, when I got to the end of the year, I just did not feel like starting it. I contemplated it in November, didn't feel like starting it, so I said next year is the year to work on that. Alright, we're gonna let this dry a little bit and then I will come back. So we're gonna start off with the gray and go from there. So just going to line it carefully. I think we are about done with this. My least favorite thing is seeing where the tape was obviously not down. Here is the final product. I'm pretty happy. For someone who's been dreading working on this because I was afraid I was gonna ruin it when I actually started it, I'm quite content with the end product. I honestly did not particularly care what I was doing at the beginning. I was just putting down some colors, so I'm quite content that it actually came out pretty good. Let me know what goals you have completed this year, whether that was a goal that you started at the beginning of the year or a goal that you just added most recently. Let me know if you got it done. I'm proud of you if you did. And if you didn't get anything done this year, that's okay too. There's always next year, and you will get it done eventually. Let me know what you have in mind for next year as well. I look forward to reading your comments. I look forward to what will happen next year. Hopefully next year will be better for everyone. If it wasn't a great year this year, and if it was a good year for you this year, I hope it continues into next year. Thank you for watching. Bye.